these guys in While She Sleeps, which I'm sure you know.
Or don't know.
Hooray.
Yes, you can collab, that's fine.
So, yeah. Let's just start at the beginning, I suppose, with how you guys ended up in a band together.
Just kind of picked a few people, started in a little band. Not at this point was just the drummer of Sleeps, and did that for years. Aaran did exactly the same thing with a circle, similar circle to us. We kind of merged in probably year 8 at school.
We moved into his dad's house and just recorded an EP.
Yeah, we recorded it ourselves. As that was happening, we got sort of a bit of interest from just a small manager, and then released, and then eventually got an interest from a small independent label, just like local, who were like, we want to put out this thing you're writing, and put that out, and then was just like, right, we have to the rule is we don't say no to a gig and we don't pull out of a gig.
And at what point did the industry start paying attention?
Then we started playing with bands in Sheffield, like the Bring the Horizon. We played one of their shows, one of their bigger tours. They took us on the Sheffield date, and then there was people.
Their management was
their
there.
management. Yeah, their management was there, and they saw the show that we played, and they were like, they called us up a few days later. We were on the road, and they were like, "Do you want to come down to London and have a meeting?"
Their connections were so much broader than what we had before that we were obviously excited about it, and it opened loads of doors. And then they basically were starting a subsidiary label inside Sony called Search and Destroy, which basically is just a cool way of basically putting a band on a label and not saying you're signed to Sony, but saying you're
it's like a runoff from Sony.
And what was your kind of experience with that in that first instance for that first album?
I've personally learned is you should really never let go of something if it's your baby and you've made this band and you're the person who has more belief in it than anyone who's ever going to work for you. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause it's your thing. You should never actually stop doing work on it.
So you recorded This Is the Six, and then you released that to quite a lot of acclaim at the time. The press were really behind it, and specialist radio were really behind it, and then you kind of got shot off into the world as a sort of next big thing.
We did This Is the Six, just whoa, let's go straight in the studio and did it, and didn't really think about it much. We just kind of...
Because it was our first experience as well, so it's it all just
We're overwhelming as well.
Yeah, it was quite overwhelming.
And the second one was right.
That was a lot more of a weirder experience, just because we had people who Loz's throat. He had,
he had problems.
He had problems, so we were all the music was done, recorded in the studio, and then Loz found out that he had a polyp on his vocal cord, so we had to take a year out. So that, the momentum stopped a little for us. So, you can imagine that what that does to especially with we said, with people's attention spans nowadays. It's oh, While She Sleeps about to release an album. Oh wait, no, they're not. And then a year passes, and then it's okay, I found all this other music now.
Yeah.
And you can be easily disposable, I think, nowadays.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are now technically, well, not even technically, you are actually unsigned at this point.
Yeah. We personally decided to make the change. We're getting out of that, because it's all good pretending it's not there, but then if we make any money, we're not making money. We're making this much money at the bottom of this thing. We're not even above zero.
But then everybody laughed at us as well. You get tour managers going, you're gonna do Warped Tour yourselves without a tour manager or a merch or anything like that. We're yeah.
Did you?
And we did, yeah.
We got fine. Even my accountant was books were wicked. Do you know what I mean? I learned how to do Excel, learned how to do spreadsheets, and so that everyone's happy and not just doss it off. Because if part of the thing of saying we're scrapping everyone, if we come back and we've just have no receipts for anything and no proof of anything and just a mess, they'd be well, you can't do that, can you? Mm-hmm. It should never be about the money, you know what I mean? But it has to. There's a point where you realise it has to make enough money
to sustain it.
Yeah.
Would you say it's better to sort of hone your set and get everything sorted, so then if you play a good show, A&R and management will notice you, or just play as many shows as you can and sort of hope for the best?
I think just play the shows and they will sort your set out.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to find out as well.
Yeah, just jump in the deep end.
It is a cool model, building something to a really perfect point and then unleashing it. If you just get out there and do it, it'll build a really true fan base, because there'll always be those dudes then who'll be I saw you play The Croft to 10 people.
And that happened.
Yeah, and that but that's one of the nice things about it, that you're like sick.
It was cool hearing like a view of someone who's actually done it. Yeah. So I was really interested in that. That's what I really want to do at one point in my life. So
it's nice to know they're real people and they're not just like big shots that are thinking they're better than everyone.
It's really cool to start with themselves as well. They kind of branded their own, and they've done everything themselves. And as they say, they're independent now. So that to me is quite, in a sense, inspirational.
Probably not be like too pressured on, you know, trying to be the best you can straight away. Like, you know, sort of just have fun with it and just see where it takes you.
Yeah, like the opportunity to see people that you look up to is just, it's so good to hear what they actually have to say.